Welcome back to Right Answers Mostly, a podcast on what you didn't learn in history class, but you really wanted to. I'm Claire Donald.
And I'm Tess Palomo.
Happy Pride, Rammies. We are back with a very special, joyful, inspiring episode.
Oh, we needed it.
We are talking about none other than RuPaul Charles today.
How fun, because I don't know anything.
So I really didn't know anything before my research.
Yeah.
And full disclosure, I had never watched Drag Race before my research. And I was kind of like starting to get into RuPaul. I was listening to his memoir. And I was like, I feel like I'm just like not grasping his essence.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I need to watch Drag Race. I started at season 5, which is like what I've heard everyone says like one of the best. You guys, I am so in that world right now. I can't stop saying things like congratulations. Like I am obsessed.
I love that.
And let the best woman win.
Ah, cute.
It's so good.
I've only seen, I think, 2 episodes of season 5.
Season 5 is incredible. And then I went to All-Star season 2. And then I am now on All-Star season 3.
Oh, it's so fun just to like binge a show like that.
And it's just like, you feel like you're just in a world full of joy, which is like how RuPaul's essence is. And he's created an empire.
Thank God for it.
Thank God for it. So, okay, you don't know much.
Literally nothing, like truly nothing.
Okay, well, we can just get into it.
Yeah, that's all I can say.
Okay, you guys, let's talk about our queen, RuPaul. Okay, so Tess, I won't make you guess the sign unless you want to.
Aquarius?
No, but that would be such a good guess.
Okay. What is it?
He's a Scorpio.
Oh, interesting.
So RuPaul Andre Charles was born November 17th, 1960 in San Diego, California.
I did not know he was a California boy.
He does not give San Diego at all.
Not at
right?
all.
Well, and that's what he was like. I was born in a very white, very conservative, very segregated San Diego, California.
What year?
1960.
Oh, Jesus.
His parents were both from Louisiana, and RuPaul is his real name. It's his birth name. It's his drag name.
What's his last name?
Charles.
RuPaul Charles.
RuPaul Charles. So, very distinct name. This was on purpose. His mom got a psychic reading when she was pregnant. And the psychic was like, you are going to have a son and he is going to be a star.
Wow.
And so she was like, well, I have to give him a star's name.
Like a stage name.
A stage name, exactly. And Ru is also an homage to Louisiana food. You know, the roux that you cook with or like the base of stews and stuff. Yeah, so that's where RuPaul comes from.
That is iconic to be named after a thing in cooking.
I agree.
I like it.
Ru has 3 older sisters, and his family did grow up in a lower income household, and both of Ru's parents presented their own issues. They had a very hostile relationship. His father cheated all the time, and his mother and father always got in very violent fights, like throwing furniture, physical stuff in front of the kids. Ru was like, I never saw my parents in love, actually. It was always in fights. And so he learned from a very young age how to be a diplomat in that situation and how to read a room and figure out what people wanted from him because he needed to just ultimately get through the situation.
Yep. Survival.
Exactly. His father was very distant with Ru. He was a very charming man. Like, people loved his personality. He was super, like, warm and friendly, but he was not like that with Ru. Yeah. He was like that with his 3 sisters. He doted on Ru's sisters, but RuPaul described his father as feeling like a ghost. He was so checked out from him. He said, quote, he was too ruled by his fears of being truly himself to allow me to be myself. Maybe I illuminated the pieces of him that were feminine, that pushed the boundaries.
It's a tale as old as time.
Exactly.
He's projecting something because his child scares him, something in himself. Like,
that's exactly what it was. And like Ru, from a very young age, was a performer, and he was silly and he was feminine. And when his sisters were feminine, his father was, you know, all about that fine. But with his son,
exactly,
it scared him.
Yep.
And his mom was just as complicated. She was a very cold woman. She was very volatile. She would have pretty major dramatic outbursts. In the neighborhood, she was known as Mean Mrs. Charles.
Ooh.
And like an example, one of his child friends recalled a time where he was playing outside with RuPaul, and his mom just leans her head out the window and said, Ru, who is that fucker?
I'm like, I love it.
No, and RuPaul was actually very close to his mother.
Yeah.
And he was like, listen, she was who she was, but she was honest about things.
And you
like,
know, probably hard for a woman.
Exactly. And that's what he said. He was like, she never talked about her childhood, but I know that something went on in her childhood that she was never able to deal with. And she was married to this man who's constantly cheating on her.
It's all like generational trauma. So many factors.
So many factors. After his mother discovered that his father was having an affair, I don't know if it was a specific instance because I'm pretty sure his father was always cheating on his mom.
God.
There was an event where she poured gasoline all over the family car. In front of the neighborhood, in front of Rue and his sisters. And she had a lighter and she was like, I'm going to light this car on fire, and was like making a big spectacle about it. And she was like, I'm going to blow up the car. I'm going to blow up the house.
Valid.
So Rue describes this as his first time completely disassociating. He was like, I remember it like I'm watching it as a movie. Mm-hmm. He's like, I completely left my body.
Yeah.
And that started my ability to be able to do that in my life.
You can imagine how terrifying.
Terrifying. It's like your parents are supposed to be your safe space.
Yeah, and seeing your mom like that not only hurt and sad, but like that anger coming from your mom.
Really, really scary. So it deeply impacted him. And his parents end up getting a divorce when he's 7. His father runs off with his mistress.
Of course.
Of course. And it's so sad because, like, Rue described a time where he just sat on the porch, like, waiting for his dad to come pick him up.
No.
And he never did. And his mom just goes into, like, a deep, deep depression. So she was prescribed Valium. And
they just were giving that like candy.
Like candy to these housewives. Mm-hmm. And she just stayed in her bedroom. And they said that Rue and his sister said there was just days where she couldn't get out of bed and they just didn't hear from her. And so they would kind of have to operate in the house and run it as normal without her mom, without their mom. RuPaul makes it his mission as a kid to make his mom laugh and to bring some levity in the house.
Here we go. This is the origin story of children with trauma, right? You're like, if I can be funny, it's all going to be okay.
No, literally of the theater kids, of the performers, all of it. So he said, I had to pierce the dark cloud of my mother's unhappiness for long enough to help her forget that anything was wrong.
Oh, my God.
Really intense for a little kid to take on.
The dark cloud.
I know. So he loved TV as a kid, and he loved Monty Python. He loved the Carol Burnett show. Escapism. And TV was exactly that for him. It was escapism. He loved Cher. He loved Diana Ross.
That's so sweet.
No, I know. So he would impersonate Cher and Diana Ross for his mom and put on shows, and it would make her laugh. His mom loved when he would perform. And so he says now, when he goes on stage and feels nervous, he just says to himself, it's just me in my mother's living room. I know. No, I know.
No.
And I love that his mom, like, encouraged him.
Yes, and that she, like, it did make her laugh.
It did. And she was like, my son is a star, like the psychic said.
Wow, they're always right.
They are always right. Clock that T. By the way, I did a tarot card reading last year, and she said that I need to play it for you. I don't think I sent it to you. She said we'd be moving into a studio this year.
Which is crazy, because you guys know we were sad.
And yeah, we were very sad, and here we are in studio.
Look how cute. Check us out on YouTube.
So then at 15 years old, Rue ends up moving from San Diego to Atlanta with his sister Renetta and her fiance. And Atlanta completely changes the trajectory of his life. In Atlanta, there was this vibrant art scene. There was a growing gay community. He just immediately felt more at home in Atlanta than he did San Diego. And it was so meaningful to see Black people thriving and economically thriving, artistically thriving. He talked about that he saw a billboard with a Black newscaster, and he was like, you hardly saw Black people on TV at this time.
Oh my God, yeah.
So to see like a Black newscaster was like, oh, I'm seeing what is possible for me.
We've talked so much about how representation, just seeing it, matters.
Changes everything.
Changes your whole life.
He ends up going to a school for performing arts, and this is where he like really falls in love with acting and with performing. And he even took the stage in drag for the first time, playing Queenie in a student production of Tennessee Williams' Camino Real.
It just always kills me, like, kids just doing Tennessee Williams.
I knew that you were going to love that because it's literally Pen 15.
It's Pen 15. I'm just like, why? I ought to divorce ya. They're like 12. I need to watch that episode. Actually, I might watch that episode this weekend.
Tonight.
It's
like, I need it
like,
now.
It's the best.
It's so funny. I knew you would appreciate that. It is around this time, though, that he does start to have some painful realizations when he's in high school. He talks about developing a crush on one of his friends. That was a boy.
Yeah.
And his friend ends up dating this girl at their school. And he said it was like this realization, like, I'm never going to be able to hold hands with my boyfriend in between classes. I'm never going to be able to like make out with my hot boyfriend in his car in high school. Like, I'm never going to get that.
Oh, like what everyone else can just do so easily and like take for granted.
Exactly.
Well, I never made out well, that's not true. I was like, I never had a high school boyfriend, but no, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just like hard for him. And, you know, just like as a young queer person in the 70s, he was feeling very alienated and like searching for mentors and a sense of belonging. I don't think he really knew any gay people at this time.
No, I'm sure, or if anyone like deeply in the closet.
Yes, and we were talking about this with Chris last week on our commercial break, actually, I think. There is no youth mentorship.
Yes.
For queer kids this time, in the early times.
No, and sometimes if there were, it would be predatory.
Which brings us to our next point. He goes to a gay youth center that was in Atlanta. And there was a counselor there named, or he calls him Andrew in the book. I don't know if that's his actual name. He was a 36-year-old counselor. Rue's spending time there, which is great because he's finally starting to meet gay people and being able to share that community. And he spends a lot of time with Andrew. And then 36-year-old Andrew asks, I believe he's 16-year-old Rue, if he can kiss him. So this is RuPaul's first time kissing a man, and he does say that it was like a breakthrough. The way that his body reacted, knew that this is what he always wanted. Like, I think it was confirmation, like, oh, I'm gay. Because he had kissed a girl before, and it was not like
not doing it for me. Not doing it for me. I mean, of course.
Exactly.
That's what every kid should be able to experience. You, like, kiss both, and you're like, oh, that's what I like.
So for Rue, he was like, oh, my whole world has opened.
Yep.
And then Andrew later told him that they would have to wait until Rue was 18 to have sex, which they later do. And Rue, looking back, obviously we now know that it's so inappropriate and there was a huge power imbalance.
Which is upsetting.
Upsetting and unfortunate. But that was his first realization of like, okay, I am gay.
It's so crazy to be like, I'll kiss you, but I won't have sex with you.
Well, and it's like... Don't you think
so
that
then,
should say something?
Okay, so it's wrong then to be kissing a teenager.
Exactly. He also talked about, because Andrew was a straight white man, or not, sorry, he was a gay white man. And a lot of...
I was like, oh!
Sorry. He was a gay white man, and he was hanging around with a lot of Andrew's friends, and he was like, it was also so different being a black gay man, a very feminine black gay man at this time, because he was like, all Andrew and his friends could pass for straight if they wanted to. And he was like, I was never able to hide who I was.
Oh my God, the race on top of it. Like, you're just, being a gay black man today is still so different, you know? Like, there's just so many more layers.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so he's really having to figure out a lot in a short amount of time at a very young age.
Oof.
So he is still in high school. He wasn't really doing great in school. He also, more in San Diego, but he got made fun of and called a sissy.
Yeah.
He was just not a school type of person.
He's like, I want to get out there and party and socialize.
Exactly. And he was like, I learned everything I needed to know about life through reading and TV.
Talk about it.
He just loved TV. So he ends up actually dropping out of school in 10th grade, and he starts working for his brother-in-law flipping cars.
Oh, wow.
He loved cars.
Really?
Yes. He would like drive across the country, go pick up a car, bring it back, work on it.
Wow. Couldn't be me.
No. Could literally never be me, but Rue loved it. So when he wasn't working, he was watching a lot of TV, and there was this public access TV show in Atlanta called The American Music Show. And it's so like public access TV at the time. It's just like very scrappy. It's just like theater kids putting on sketches.
Yeah.
It really reminds me of like the movies that like we would make as kids.
That's so funny.
Which it was like, it just seems so fun to like get an idea for it and be like, let's just put something together.
So freeing.
And be weird, you know? He was watching it. He said it was a huge sigh of relief. He was like, these are the people that I have been looking for. Aww. They were quirky, funny, sarcastic, artsy, punk rock. So he writes him a letter and he's like, I've seen your show. I love it. And I'd love to come on. And they get the letter and they're like, literally no one's ever written us before.
Oh, they're like, sure, there's room.
Truly, they were like, absolutely.
Wait, that's so funny.
So he joins the show in January of 1982. I believe he was 21.
Oh, wow.
So that's what he does, and he's the perfect fit. And he said it was the first time that he felt like he was surrounded by like-minded individuals. He would dance and sing and perform. He would make all of these costumes and wear it on the show. He formed like musical groups. So they weren't like playing instruments, but they were like making up dances and making up songs. And his first group was called RuPaul and the U-Hauls.
Oh, that's cute.
It's really cute, Jess,
That's
right?
cute.
So eventually he moves out of his sister's house and moves in with his fellow castmates. And this is where we see RuPaul dress and drag regularly for the first time.
Okay.
But it's not the like glamazon drag that we associate with RuPaul now. It's like very punk rock drag. So he didn't shave his legs. He didn't shave his chest. He had a mohawk. He made his own clothes. He was wearing combat boots and like smeared lipstick.
Interesting.
And he got a lot of the inspiration for this drag from David Bowie.
Okay, I was also going to say Rocky Horror.
Oh my God. Yes, he will be in in Rocky Horror later in Atlanta.
Well, of course, that's just the trajectory.
I don't think I've ever seen Rocky Horror all the way through. I think, you know what my introduction to Rocky Horror was? Perks of Being a Wallflower.
And in this moment, I swear, we were invincible. Yeah, I have a complicated relationship with Rocky Horror.
Because
I just like, we had a night in college that was a very bad night when we were doing it. It's like for an offline, it was just such a bad night
For a
that
long
like
premium episode.
It's for a long premium episode. It's like not even interesting to anyone, but probably just myself. But yeah, it just was, it was bad. And like I was on the boards, then I got in trouble. Like it was just like this whole thing. And then every time I've seen it, I'm just like, everyone shut up and stop screaming and singing, even though that's the point to do it. It's too theater kid for me.
I mean, it's quite theater kid.
And it's amazing. It was a revolutionary thing. I respect it. Not for me ever again.
It's quite theater kid. And what I have realized from watching RuPaul's Drag Race, drag is so theater kid.
It is.
In like the best way.
It's the best version of it. It's not college kids doing Rocky Horror way.
Right.
It's very different.
It is different.
And you guys know. You know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, no, David Bowie, which I think that we have to do a David Bowie episode.
We should do, for doing theme months, like I want to rock out.
I want to rock out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I want to holler.
I want to holler. I want to kick shit. Yeah, we need to do that.
So he's dressing in drag and he starts to realize the power that drag brings him because of the reactions that it would get from people.
Yes.
He later wrote, "Everything in contrast hangs in perfect balance. I always felt both male and female. Counterintuitively, I felt more masculine in drag than I did out of drag because I knew that I could command more power that way. Power being a currency that was typically conferred to men. As a feminine black man in violation of society's norms by virtue of just existing, drag was a way to reclaim the power I'd always been denied."
Damn.
Isn't that so interesting?
Yeah, that is interesting for feeling more masculine in drag, but that makes so much sense.
Because he gets power that he was never afforded as like a feminine black man.
Wow.
Isn't that so interesting?
If that makes someone feel good, who the fuck cares?
Why would
you know what I
never stop
mean?
That?
It's just so crazy.
No, it's so crazy. Yeah.
It's like this whole month, you're just like, it is wild. That
Get a
anyone gives
hobby.
Shit.
Yeah.
Get a hobby.
Yeah, I agree.
But good for him.
Yeah. And it's at this time that I believe it was his boyfriend, Mark, once told Rue about a time that he was at a drag bar and he saw a drag queen named LaQuisha Lucky. And LaQuisha Lucky said on stage, "You're born naked and the rest is just drag."
Iconic. Say it louder for the people in the back.
Exactly. And RuPaul he gives LaQuisha credit, but he has now taken that and that is like truly his catchphrase. You are born naked and the rest is just drag.
But like, isn't it all?
It's so true. And I loved, he goes on the Arsenio Hall show later and he says that to the audience and he's like, those men in the suits, they're in drag. And you see these guys being like, what?
Like, no, we're not. But it's true.
It's true.
It is true. You got a haircut, you're in drag.
And from that line, Rue said it was like someone unlocked the secret of the universe.
Wow.
So he's also starting to get into go-go dancing. He's making money from go-go dancing on the weekends. And by the way, you guys, just like YouTube, there's so much footage of RuPaul from this time. YouTube, RuPaul in the 80s, RuPaul go-go dancing. It's incredible.
Fun.
It's incredible. He knew how to work a room.
In the boots?
I don't know if he was in the boots.
Is everyone in the boots go-go dancing?
I think he said he was like in heels.
Even harder.
Can you imagine?
No.
Also, RuPaul is 6'4".
Wow.
without heels.
Oh my God.
So like an undeniable presence.
Wow.
He appears on the American Music Show for a few years, but he eventually becomes one of its biggest stars. And he was incredible at promoting himself. So he would go make posters and plaster Atlanta with posters that read, RuPaul is red hot and RuPaul is everything.
Cool.
And he started recording music. He would go play clubs and he wrote books about himself and would sell them at the shows.
So much time.
I don't think he did, but I think he literally took all of his time and was just like, I am going to get so creative in how to.
Just like committed.
And that's the thing that I appreciate about him is that he was always very much like, I'm going to pretend like I'm a star until people catch up and realize that with me.
Well, that's what you have to do if you want to get anywhere.
Exactly.
Like, literally, you have to be like, I'm already this big and just manifest it from there.
Exactly. If someone's like, why would he have a book? He's like, why would I not have a book about myself?
He is working overtime.
No, he's so brilliant. And I just love like that confidence to be like, if I act like a star, people will take note of how I treat myself.
Totally. There's someone on TikTok that acts like that we know that I'm always like, wow. It's just like, it's such a...
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
That you're like, good for you. Like, you're not famous, but you act like you're famous in a way that like works so well.
He was like, I know the day will come for me. So when the day comes, I'm already ready.
Smart. We love the confidence.
So smart. Around this time, he was doing like his punk rock glam, which we will have pictures on a carousel at Right Answers Mostly. He starts dabbling in ultra femme glam drag a little bit. And he writes about like when he felt powerful when he was in drag because he got attention. But when he did ultra femme drag, he starts getting a lot of attention from men, mainly like straight men though.
Of course.
The more feminine and glamorous he looked, the more powerful he felt.
Well, it is powerful to be feminine. There's so much power in like female sexuality and all of that.
Exactly. So he's like, okay, noted. I'm still going to do my punk rock drag, but noted.
Carry it in our pockets and access it when we need it.
Exactly. So he's reigning over the Atlanta club scene. He does the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And this is like what takes him to mainstream notoriety in Atlanta. Because before he was just like more famous in like the club scenes. But now people are like, that guy's in that show, that's the guy whose poster is everywhere. That's RuPaul.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so now RuPaul, though, is in like his late 20s. And he says that he, like, listen, it was such a fun artistic time for him in Atlanta. And he's like going to New York a little bit at this time too and like checking out the scene there. But like, he's not making any money.
I was just going to say, like, money's probably tight.
Money is super tight. Like, you can be the most famous person in these underground club scenes, but it's like not paying much at this time because like the craft wasn't as respected as it is now. It's truly, he was living the life of like a struggling artist, like a ton of people living in an apartment together. Yeah. He just starts to feel quite lost. And he's like, I was in my Saturn return heavy. He said that he felt like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, like pulling the curtain back and then being like, oh, this is all there is? Like,
ooh, always a really tough time in life.
I mean, it's your Saturn return.
Yeah.
Literally, you're 27 to like 30, 31.
Yeah, it can feel, it's some trying times.
It's some trying times. So he's just like, I don't know who I am, what I want. He ends up moving to LA. I believe his sister was living in LA at the time. And he had gained some weight. He grew a beard for the first time in his life. He was just like quite lost. On a New Year's Eve night, he was watching the Dick Clark special where the B-52s and Sheena Easton were performing. And Sheena Easton was super glam, lip-syncing her song like her life depended on it. And Rue thought, if that was me, I would turn that shit out. Like, I would crush that. And so then he had a thought that was like, well, why couldn't that be me? He said the true high femme sexy glamazon look, he always knew how he felt when he wore that and how much power he got. So he's like, why don't I just wear her all the time? Like, why don't I lean into that persona?
Yeah.
And he's like, I need to get myself together and remember who I am and go be that. So he was like, I'm picking myself up, I'm spreading my wings, and I'm moving to New York City.
Okay.
So he specifically moves to the East Village. And the East Village at this time was truly like the artsy scene.
Yep.
The drag scene was in East Village, and the drag scene in East Village was like pretty unique to the rest of the world because well, the drag scene was so major because at this time, even in gay bars, like a lot of gay bars did not want drag queens in there. And a lot of the guys did not want drag queens in there.
Yep.
But in the East Village, it was like happening, especially at this place called the Pyramid Club, which is like where drag was being reinvented. He moves to the East Village, but again, it's like a really hard time for him at this point. He's homeless. He was sleeping in Central Park a lot. Damn. He would go perform at the club, and like one of his friends that was at the club with him, he would just be like, "Can I please like stay at your house?" He's just really bouncing around. But this is where Rue really starts doing glamour drag. And again, like we said, straight men just started looking at him different. It was the first time he'd ever felt that sexual gaze. And he did say it was like kind of scary where you're like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of energy.
Was not prepared for that.
No.
But then he said, I wanted to get in high femme drag again as soon as I could and terrorize the neighborhood.
Good for you, honey. You go out there and do it.
Truly. And his reputation in Atlanta did pave the way for him in New York. There was like a buzz about him in town, and he was impossible to admit. Again, he was 6'4" without heels on. He was wearing these big wigs, had this personality where he was not trying to blend in. And in a city full of drag queens at this time, there was a lot of like Bette Midlers and Diana Rosses.
Yep.
Like everyone's impersonating some other pop icon.
Oh, that was huge.
Huge. And singing their songs. But Rue was like, I'm going to create my own characters. I'm going to create my own songs and just like sing that.
Smart. So you can stand out a little bit.
His form of drag, he said, is 2 spoonfuls of Diana Ross, a pinch of Cher, a shake of Dolly Parton, all sealed with Walt Disney's family friendliness.
That's amazing.
Truly, like, what could be better?
I love that. And I love that his childhood icons are like involved.
Like, those women
raised him.
Exactly.
Inspired him, made him, like, amazing.
And didn't they raise us all?
They really did, though.
Yeah.
What would your combination be?
Oh, God. I mean, probably Diana Ross and Dolly Parton. Mm-hmm. I was late to the Cher game, to be honest.
I was too.
Okay. And Jessica.
And Jessica.
Okay,
Jessica and Jewel.
Dolly Parton, Diana, and Jessica, honestly, would be like
so
mine. What about you?
Oh, my God. I would do some, like, Madonna.
I knew Madonna had to be for you.
Madonna, some Shania Twain in there, like 90s Shania. Jessica.
Yes, of course. And also, speaking of like icons and Madonna, he was like a part of this downtown art scene in New York. So he was like hanging in the crowds with Madonna, Keith Haring. It was just like the place where art was happening.
It was just such a cool time, such a different time.
So then club promoters start hiring RuPaul to host theme nights and MC or just to perform his own act. And again, he's not famous in America, but to New York nightlife, if you were in the East Village, you knew who RuPaul was. Because he's dressing in more femme drag, he eventually wins Queen of Manhattan in 1890.
1890.
It's incredible. He really can do it all. He can time travel. He wins Queen of Manhattan in 1989. And he also landed a role as a backup dancer in the Love Shack music video.
Love Shack, baby, Love Shack.
So you can spot him there.
Fun.
And as the 1980s come to a close, RuPaul has spent nearly a decade building his larger-than-life persona. New York knows who he is. The drag community knows who he is. The only people who don't know who RuPaul is yet is mainstream culture. But all of that is about to change.
I bet.
If you want to hear how RuPaul took drag mainstream, learn more about his love life and what he is up to today, plus gab about Drag Race, of course, you can listen to our full RuPaul episode on our premium channel. The link is in the show notes to join. When you join Ram Premium, you get access to over 100 bonus episodes, but that's not it. You also get added to our close friends list on Instagram, where you will see all of the hidden posts and stories. You get first access to merch. You get to vote on future episodes. But the most important thing you do is you help support our show. So to hear this full episode, plus over 100 bonus episodes, join our premium channel. The link is in the show notes. Thank you, Rammies.